Thanks very much, Chris. Yes, it is Spain versus South Africa, match 13 on day 5 of this Vitality 2018 Hockey Women's World Cup. This is a major game for both these teams if they want to progress through the competition. Just a reminder, top of the pool goes straight into the quarterfinals, and the teams that finish second and third in their pools then cross over and have a chance of progressing to the quarterfinals. So a win today to either of these teams, who both lost their opening games, will put them into a really good position to play off for a chance to go through to the quarterfinals. Players lining up in the tunnel. They get the green light to make their way out onto the pitch, and it is a hot, sunny day here in London. Predicted to be one of the hottest days of the year. Spain have already said they feel that that will benefit them. They're used to the hot weather, training in Madrid. South Africa, well, training's a difficult one for them because they struggle to get together for camps because of funding. And I'm sure they too will not be too worried about the weather. So we will now pause for the national anthems. And first of all, the national anthem of Spain. So there was the Spanish national anthem, one of only 4 in the world with no lyrics, as we move on to the national anthem of South Africa. Well, one of the great, passionate South Africans in anthems in the world, the South African national anthem, Nkosi Sikelel. As they go through, 17 players going through, shaking hands for South Africa. There, Nicoline Tablanche, who took a blow to the head, is sitting on the bench. Whether she'll play, well, we'll have to wait and see. Looking at the lineup for Spain, Maria Ruiz will start in goal for them. And expect she'll want her defence in front to be really strong. Tina and Riera will be key players there. Perez in the midfield. She's already got a goal to her name from a penalty corner, and Gigi Oliva will be also a key player. Pachama and Come in front will also be looking to get the goals as they link with the midfield for Spain. Turn our attention to South Africa, and Phumelela Mbande had a fantastic game in their opening game for South Africa. And again, Dietlef's, the experienced player at the back, is going to have to really marshal her troops as they look to thwart any Spanish attacks. The midfield of Peyton, Jones and Bobbs, they'll be looking to combine with the forwards and create opportunities for Chamberlain, Manuel and Sulet Damons, the captain of South Africa. On the bench, to Blanche's name there. Whether she will partake in this game, we'll have to wait and see. They're just trying to obviously look after her concussion from that game. Took a nasty blow to the head in the game against Germany. So the substitutes for Spain make their way off the pitch as we get a closer look at Phumelela Mbande. Plenty of South African fans here looking to cheer on their team. Can they get a victory in this match against Spain? This will be the game they would have highlighted and looked to get 3 points from. Spain to push back. Spain in the red, South Africa in the white. And possession given straight away to South Africa. Ashley Morrison alongside me, three-time Olympian, Great Britain and England goalkeeper Simon Mason, as South Africa break forward. A really good run there coming from Damons, just on the edge of the circle. Should be cleared by Spain. A chance coming wide now and smashed into the circle. Oh, Simon, welcome. This is a really big game for these two teams.
It is, and South Africa are going to need to show this forward pressure.
Good run inside the circle again in front of goal, but somehow they managed to scramble that clear.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ashley. South Africa are going to need to show that forward pressure and intent if they're going to get anything out of this game. They were forced backwards by Germany pretty much for the entire match. They're going to need to create the energy and intensity themselves, because Spain are certainly going to want to play aggressively with decent forward play.
Spain there pushing forward. They'd love an early goal. They got an early goal against Argentina, and some would say sparked Argentina to life. They've won a penalty corner, so they have the ideal opportunity. Liu Xiaoying from China.
Good individual skill around the back, but that's relatively poor defending. Feet are just so open from Botes on the left-hand side of that circle as she jabs in. It wasn't a huge amount of mobility. Spain's penalty corner in the first game was exceptional. A beautiful slip move that they played off the top. So let's see if they've got anything else up their sleeves.
10 seconds. Yeah.
Well, they were 1 from 3 attempts in their first game. They would love to get an early goal here. Lining up is Lopez at the first battery. They go to the second, swept looking for the deflection, and it will be another penalty corner. That was good from Riera.
Good offensive routine, creates a space outside the post. Botes reads it though and steps forward. That's brave defending, and with the goalkeeper considered to be behind the post defender, Botes, well, I think that's a penalty stroke, to be honest. In that replay, the goalkeeper was nowhere near it, but it wasn't referred.
Chantal Thina will inject again. Comes out and fired high, off the crossbar from Lola Riera. The perfect start for Spain. Well, she got underneath that, lifted it, it hit the underside of the crossbar and came down inside the goal. Spain 1, South Africa 0.
Success was all about the power of the injection, a full-on slap, and then the little whip underneath the ball, the slider of a flick, long drag, but you open your wrists, open your shoulders, and it pushes it up top to that top corner. There's the whip. Stick blade opens, and what a flick that is. Incredible finish, brilliantly executed from Riera, but all about the speed of the injection in the first instance to get it to the top of the Z so quickly.
Lola Riera will be over the moon with that. She played her 150th game against Argentina, and that was probably a night to forget as they went down 6-2. The perfect way to start this game, and now it's a real tussle for South Africa to get back in this game. Almost stolen there by Garcia. Spain with a free hit. Played well, it was aimed for Kano. It's going to be picked up at the back post, and that's a very good tackle just inside the circle. He did well to get her feet out of the way. Good deflection up the line from Manuel. So there is Nicoline Teblanc. She's ruled out for this game. We've had it confirmed because of her concussion in the last game. So they're still monitoring it, but she will hopefully be back in the tournament. So just ruled out for this game. Not good news for South Africa, not good news for her, but we wish her a speedy recovery. South Africa now trying to find a way into the deep. A little break from Peyton. Almost going around the back, but a well-timed tackle from Ganea.
Brilliant tackle from Ganea. Really low with the reverse stick reach. Made sure the stick was rotated enough. Good block. Easy just to flash in at that tackle, get the stick contact and give away a corner. Good footwork.
I'm quite happy to put pressure on the South African defenders and really make them hustle, and a little bit lucky to get away with that. Dietliff, she pushed it a long way ahead of herself, but the foul was awarded to her.
I have to say that's a pass I don't understand, or even a decision I don't understand. The players weren't 5 yards apart.
Jones plays it forward, just knocked into the D and off the line quickly as Ruiz plays it over the side. Jones. Comes back. Intercepted brilliantly. That's a really good intercept from the captain, Gigi Olivia. Chama getting it again, making a break into the circle. Good steal this time from Botes for South Africa.
Well, Pachama ran forwards with that. The South African defenders, there was absolutely no energy in their retreat. They didn't set themselves up early enough. That reaction to turnover is going to be crucial. I appreciate it's difficult in the conditions, but you've still got to see that change in possession and move so quickly to set up your defence.
Off a South African sticks, a long corner. Taken from the wrong place. I mentioned Xiao Ning is the one umpire, and Alicia Newman from Australia is the other. The aerial pass thrown forward by South Africa, brought down well by Chamberlain. That's good play. Deflected off the Spanish stick. So good run coming in off the left flank from Juanita Bobs.
Good eyes up run. Look at the carry position, means the ball gets fed in. The pass has been seen and can get delivered really quickly.
No.
So another free hit to South Africa. Great for them if they could get back on level terms in this first quarter. Spain moving the ball well. That was a lovely little ball by Salvatella to herself, just ran the defender running onto it.
Really clever, wasn't it, actually? As the defender stepped forward, Salvatella just popped the ball on the reverse to the left foot of the defender and then ran the other way.
Inside the circle it goes on Bunda, clears it. Spain pick it up on the edge of the circle. Jones down the side, stolen back, good steal coming from Jimenez.
Backstick.
Jimenez now advances towards the circle. 3 South African players it took to stop her. Just runs out of play.
One more.
Actually, one thing I'll be interested to see today, if it comes about, is Mbande's positioning if she has to go down on the turf. She was brilliant when she was upright in the first pool game. Big vertical block, great footwork around the circle, but on the penalty stroke, she ended up in a really weird position when she was forced to almost dive down to her left. And I wonder if she gets pulled out of the goal and goes to the floor, whether there's any weaknesses there in terms of her agility in that instance.
Something to look out for in this game. Leila Mbande, who went in goal because she thought it was the safest position, as Spain come into the D again. And this time it comes off a Spanish foot.
I'm loving the fact she went there because she thought it was the safest position. When she started at club level, then quite possibly, but having got to international level, she might want to re-evaluate that, given how hard the ball travels.
Why did you go in goal?
I was awful out on pitch.
That's a good enough reason. No, and just not connecting for South Africa as they try to play out from defence. It's halfway through the first quarter. Spain leading by 1-0 if you've just joined us. Penalty corner converted by Riera in the 2nd minute. Comes out wide to Riera. Riera decides to go back. Nice deflection, and that's got too much pace on it for Riera to be able to pick it up.
Well, it's a lovely little triangle move in that area of the pitch to try and get out, just manipulating the press to create space. Yes, the deflected pass wasn't great, but it was a great move in the first place.
Jones, good little run from her, found Peyton. Good pass forward now, finding Duplessis. Just lifted into the circle. Should also mention that Riera's goal is the 50th goal of the tournament. And this is the 13th match, so it's been raining goals here at Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre.
Thank you.
It's an incredibly warm day here in London. Almost stolen back by Spain, but South Africa hang on. He was the coach of Spain, Adrian Locke, appointed in January 2013. He's just extended his contract through to 2020. He's one of the longest standing coaches in the tournament as well. Patient build-up at the moment from Spain. Riera looks to throw the overhead. It was well watched, but it just caught the foot of Carolee Botez.
Oh, that's fortunately the umpire hasn't picked that up, because that was an absolute deliberate kick. Feet coming together. Very lucky it wasn't seen. And that had a card written all over it. Diedlef's had to actually try and deny the pass because there was an overlap, but she just dragged her feet together to create the block.
It did look a little bit obvious.
Oh, here we see it as the pass goes through. That's the... I don't know, that was the foot of Diedlef moving it, but that's where she tried to block up that passage of play.
That's called the Gauteng quick step.
Brilliant.
It's been fairly scrappy in the middle. Neither team at the moment dominating the midfield.
South Africa have been very right-side dominant when they've come out of defence. I don't think they've taken it to left half to then create any real width. Most teams, when they're trying to transfer, will double transfer. So they'll go out one side, shift the opposition press, and then try and get across the pitch as fast as they can. For me, South Africa are going right a little bit too much in first phase. Not really moving Spain.
Not brought under control. It still ricochets through, and Spain get a chance to go on the attack again. Into the circle it goes, in front of goal. Mbande's been beaten, and that is an exquisite finish, going round the back of the goalkeeper and just popping the ball into the back of the net. And it is a brilliant finish by Spain, and the coach is happy about that.
So it goes around the back again, a lovely constructed right-hand side cut back in field. The ball then fed across. Poor Markey. That's a lovely little reverse stick layoff. Poached on the goal line in the end, but it's the first movement there. It does indeed go to Mbande's left foot. This pick-up and pass, absolutely brilliant vision to understand where your teammate is as they're getting on that overlap. It's a little tap-in from Bonastra, but great commitment front-running.
It was Bonastra. Great finish. Spent a bit of time playing in Belgium. She's won the Belgian Championship twice. Once with Royal Wellington, once with Raskata. So plenty of experience for Banastra. And that is one of the things, isn't it, Simon? These players, they need to get games. They need to be playing in the top leagues amongst the best players as well.
They do as a learning experience. So valuable to be playing with players from different nations, to understand different structures, to expand your understanding of the game. The best players can sometimes change how they play based on the country that they're in, the league that they're in. Superb sporting intelligence.
And the South African Premier Hockey League was aimed to do that, as we see a card issued to South Africa.
Spoke about the deliberate kick just moments ago that we thought we saw from the commentary box, and that's what the card's been given for to Hunter. Erin Hunter picking up that green card. So here we see a replay of that pass going through. The perception that that is the deliberate kick. Indeed, fantastic left foot.
Baziwe getting a free hit. She plays the ball in from the side now. The young, exciting players from South Africa. Did the whole ball cross the line? Umpire says it did. Just below our commentary position. I'm not sure it did, but anyway. Ricochet's off the stick. Just a little mistrap there from Garcia. Chases it to try and keep it in play. Not going to make it. Reaching the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. South Africa already facing an uphill battle. 2 goals down.
Spanish coach Adrian Locke has said on a number of occasions he wants his team to play with intensity and aggression, and particularly now with that player advantage, they're happy to step into a high press. The midfield stepping away from the defence to mean the attack can go to a higher line.
Charles played the ball in from the side. Good steal in the midfield, pushed forward from D-Cliffs, but too far ahead. It's been won back though for Glasby. Good pass, good save Ruiz. The rebound comes back to South Africa. Ruiz with another save. Face down on the ground. She managed to just push the ball away from goal. And Spain will carry it away from the danger area.
Yeah.
Well, Spain have got lucky there, I think. This could have just been rolled across the goalkeeper. Lack of awareness to get it to that far side. And then it's a scramble. No player showing the composure. That should have just been a little dink across the goalkeeper. Closes it down superbly well, Ruiz.
Ruiz hasn't had too much to do so far in this match, but when called upon, has answered the call. Spain coming forward once more as the clock winds down. Are they going to get a chance for one last shot inside this quarter? Good defence coming back from Duplessis. Given away, cheaply in defence. Good recovery though by Hunter again. Just need to keep it in the corner. 15 seconds to go. And the clock down. I think South Africa have done a good job now. Although have I spoken too soon?
Very nearly, actually. There's no need to try and pass that ball out. She's done the job to deliver a bit of time wasting.
Good indeed. Well, that is the end of the first quarter. It's been a good one for Spain. And they go into the break with goals from Riera and Banastra. It means that it is Spain 2, South Africa 0 at the end of the first quarter. Here we see Sheldon Roston talking to his players, and he's going to have to find a way back. This was the penalty corner. Second attempt for Spain, and Riera fired it into the top corner. Brilliant execution off the underside of the bar.
Brilliantly done. She pulls it into her feet to give herself a little bit more space, having been given the time with a superb injection. And then Spain came back, however, through the midfield, little layoff, bit lucky, fortunate to get the first phase turnover, then the cut back in field, but the overlapping run down the middle was with real pace and an awareness from Garcia to just poke the ball on the reverse. Bonastra showing outside Mbande's post, didn't really need to touch it, it would have gone in anyway. But a fantastic team goal with real pace and acceleration through midfield.
It certainly was. So Spain in a really good position. This is such an important game for these two teams. They've got Argentina and Germany in Pool C alongside them. Both of them lost those opening games, and this is how the table will stand at the moment. South Africa will be bottom, but Spain will go on to 3 points as we go down to who is probably going to be a very satisfied Spanish coach, Adrian Locke, with Krista Cullen.
So, Adrian, great start for you guys. How are you going to sustain this?
Well, just keep doing the same thing. We need to keep pressuring them, force them to make mistakes, recover the ball, counter-attack, move the ball, look for the space, and attack and try and score goals.
And that special one to start, to kick you off after 2 minutes, that must have been special for her.
Yeah, obviously it helps to start with a positive result outcome in the area and a good corner, so it's good.
Perfect, thanks, Adrian.
All right, cheers.
And Spain on the attack again, and I'm sure he would just like them to keep doing what they're doing at the moment, because they're doing it pretty well.
They are forcing the errors. Just before quarter time, we saw South Africa in the bottom corner. And actually, you talked about the turnover when they tried to play the ball away, and it's almost throwing away possession when they're under pressure. They're trying to get it away from their back line, South Africa. But in doing so, just invite the turnover, and it comes back at you 3 or 4 seconds later.
Tumble, Manuel. Played on by Bonastra, just got her angles a little bit wrong. South Africa, you just feel they're such a great sporting nation. And just if there was the finances available, they would be, I'm sure, competitive if they could get matches. And that's the hard thing, isn't it? You've got to be getting matches, and Commonwealth Games has been their only major tournament this year. Spain on the attack once more. Good pass to the baseline, looking to lay it back to the penalty spot. Getting there first was Walraven.
You're absolutely right, Ashley. In terms of the team's development, it is all about gameplay. Once you've created that physical and technical base through training at home, you need to get out and get experience, and they have to travel, but they just don't have the budget to do so. It's almost impossible for them to get out of South Africa because of the cost implications, tens of thousands of pounds to get teams out on the road, and some nations just don't have that.
Oh, it's very sad. These two teams don't normally, when they meet, it's actually quite a close affair. In the last 9 meetings, going back to 2008, there's only been 2 draws, outside of 2 draws, just a 1-goal difference between the teams. You do just feel the way Spain have started this, that South Africa are going to have to battle very hard to stop more goals from ebullient Spain at the moment.
It just feels like Spain have got that extra yard of pace. Even on that second goal, the movement down the middle of the pitch, the acceleration of Garcia was from behind the South African player to in front of her. Just more raw pace and understanding of the patterns that were unfolding in front of her.
Fina plays it back, and Spain move it down to the right-hand side. Again, there's good movement from Bonastra, leading in front of the line for Spain. Leaves the free hit behind. Bonastra has made a run inside the circle, but again, Spain forced to come back. Comes across now to Gutierrez.
Entire South African front line, though, so deep and relatively flat. Yes, they're holding and they're being called to hold, but at some stage somebody has to release, and now they do. Just to step out, Dirkie Chamberlain getting a lone furrow, but just needs to cut some of the angles to make Spain go one way. Does now, steps out, and that curved run forces the pass to go one way, and occasionally that's what the centre forward has to do. The point of a press to just step out on an angle and split the fullbacks.
Well, the perfect example of it was because the pass as well was astray, and South Africa got possession back. Into the defence they go. It'll be a square pass played along the back line. And comes forward to Deecliffs. Good block, but keep it in play. Deecliffs self passes, and again it just ricochets up off the stick of Oliva. And Oliva plays it into the foot of her own player. Interesting how emotional she was, saying this is her third World Cup and will be her last because sadly age is catching up with her. But what a servant she's been to the Spanish team. And what a servant the family have been with her brother Rock, also having played for Spain, as they come forward once more. That was an important touch, and a very good touch coming from Botes.
What an extended reach. Had to get the touch on the ball. Spain had a two-player overlap down that right-hand side. If she hadn't got the touch, needed to just nick it away and did so.
Spain, though, again, South Africa, good discipline there. They didn't commit to the tackle because they couldn't until the ball had travelled the 5 metres. It would have been so easy just to step forward into that space. Sheldon Rostron, how do you think he would have approached this now? 2-0 down in the first quarter. Is it just consolidation in this quarter, Simon, or is it a case of just holding them at bay but also going searching for a goal yourself?
You have to play yourself, actually. You have to continue to play to what you perceive your strengths to be. For me, he must have been talking about how fast they need to get the ball in play and move it away from contact. Spain want to win the turnovers and then counter-attack. The way you thwart that is just move the ball away from any degree of congestion.
Good play again from Gigi Oliva. Steps in and South Africa throw the aerial pass, but it goes straight out of play. Spain have played on quickly from the side. Into the D, was that just outside?
Outside!
Here we see that little turn in field. The lift was fractionally too high, allowed the defender to get a touch on it.
Spain again, now looking to switch play. Comes out to Riera. Riera plays it down the side. It's played into and up off the stick of Manuel by Fina. Over the baseline it goes off Juanita Bobs' stick for a long corner.
Spain created space down this left-hand side very well, rolled the left defender out and pushed the left half, left midfield really high, pulling the South African high defence backwards, and it created a 30-yard hole for them to run into down that left-hand side. Really smart manipulation by the Spanish back four.
Deflected into the circle. Was that a little push in the back? Certainly looked as if it was. Got away with it, though, was Hunter. And pursued now by the person she shoved, which was Garcia. I thought that looked a clear shove in the back.
Well, it did, but sometimes our angles up here are distorted somewhat from what the umpire and the players see and feel. There wasn't even an appeal for it, so you've got to assume that what it looked like possibly wasn't as severe.
Absolutely.
Here we see the ball coming in, though, inside the box. It's that touch, that felt there. There was just a little shove from Hunter. Even in the replay, it certainly looked like there was just enough of a nudge to overbalance the Spanish attack.
And that's the thing, hockey players don't milk it, do they? They just get on with it. Just under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter at the moment. Only one real save being forced from Ruiz by South Africa.
That's just going back to the fact you said they don't milk it. So Lawrence on the sideline with this suspected concussion who's being monitored. You have to remember she got hit in the head with a ball from probably less than 5 metres. Went down hard, but bounced back up and wanted to carry on before the medics took her out of play. Absolutely made a steal because it was a big old hit on the temple.
Shooting encouragement on the bench. And South Africa pull one back before half-time. Talking to the umpires from South Africa, because the men's team have a nickname, Ammerstocker, but the women don't. And we were saying maybe it's time they did. So maybe if you're watching in South Africa, you can come up with a name. I was saying the Kudu, or maybe the Leopards. As Shelley Jones plays on, but gets, well, she was just inside the D. The umpire apologising. She blew just too quickly for the foul. I think it was the right decision. Into the D, just ran away from Peyton, unfortunately for South Africa. And now a break forward for Spain. Cutting infield is Garcia. A little bit crowded in there. Certainly the pass put Pachama under a little bit of pressure.
You can see what the attempt is. Has she got the wheels to get there? Yes, she has. Great overlapping run to get onto that cross field pass.
And Shelley Jones has managed to get a free hit on the edge, despite being exhausted after getting on the end of that pass. Shouldn't laugh, but it was a great effort by her. Shelley Jones, who was Shelley Russell, and actually wrote in her diary as an 8-year-old that she intended to play for South Africa. Always love stories like that, where children do that and achieve it. It's given away now, and there's a great chance through the middle for Salvatella. Salvatella with Mbandi to beat. Great covering defence. Well, that was a superb tackle coming in from Simone Cowles.
Simone Cowles reading that, forcing the attacker away, trying to get her out onto the backhand. Indeed, got the first touch in to stop Salvatella getting the shot. Smart running, not flicking in from that position as a defender. It's really tempting to think you're close enough and flick the stick out, which gives the stick-on-stick contact and potentially the penalty corner against you. Just composed in defence.
Superb tackle as Jones comes forward once again. Meets a wall of red players. Gets the free hit, though, did very well. Short pass from her goes to Duplessis. Duplessis hits the shins on the edge of the circle. Off Garcia.
South Africa now able to get a few more players forward. The last attack they had, the ball being run to the top of the D, there were only 2 forward passing options. Now there's 4 or 5 up in that attacking area.
Oh, and the ball ran through, but unfortunately it hit Taryn Glasby's foot.
Nice little slide pass in. Takes a little touch, which changes the angle. It nearly fell to Glasby because of that Spanish touch, but she wasn't necessarily ready for it.
And here they come again. Kirsten Payton looks to fire it to the back post, sliding in. Ruiz came off her line, and it was just missed at the back post.
Well, as it comes in, she gets to here. You can see what she's trying to do. She's picked out the pass to the far post. It just gets a little touch to take the pace off it. The lovely under-the-arm ball, good connection. That defensive touch, absolutely crucial to stop Maine with a simple tap-in.
Marley, in the end, did really well to get the touch and almost push it towards goal. Most players would have given that up to Maine after she missed it, but Marley kept running and did really well to almost get a goal for South Africa. It's been positive for them in the last few minutes. Question is, can they turn that positivity into a goal before the break? Lovely break forward coming from Cowles. Still alive. Into the D goes Glasby again. Shot from South Africa, it's wide. And unfortunately, Jade Main this time couldn't hit the target.
It's a nice little reverse ball in, on the spin, just doesn't get enough right hand. This is the check on the tackle. Great bit of individual skill bursting through, right to left, left to right. What a hit that is coming on Simone Cowles.
South Africa getting closer. Certainly Jade Main was. The power, just couldn't get the direction. I would have thought that would be encouraging the coaching staff. The team has come back and fought back in this match. They can continue this in the third quarter. And here come Spain coming forward again. Are they going to stretch their lead before the break? Short little pass, manages to find Pachama. And it's good defending again from South Africa. Jones, who's been tireless, just coming in late on Glasby, and down at the moment is Riera. Lola Riera fell very awkwardly.
Well, here we see the pass. This is the pick and roll onto the backhand. The attempted shot, and then the little touch away, absolutely crucial from Duplessis. Here we see the impact point. Just hip to hip as Riera stepped through.
Yeah.
I'm pleased to see Lola Riera back up on her feet now.
And whilst that tackle, actually, from Lilian Duplessis, just to knock the ball away, was a crucial one, my concern is that 3 Spanish players had run through the midfield and accelerated past a South African defensive line. Duplessis' tackle was actually a chasing back tackle, and there was a 3-on-2 in the circle.
Again, if you look now, as Spain try to break again, the midfield for South Africa just caught very high up the pitch. Early pass looking to be played into Guinea, and the shot from her goes a long, long way wide. Peeling for a long corner, not being given.
And I absolutely agree that the Spanish midfield has to step high, because they're trying to... Sorry, the South African midfield has to step high to create opportunity, but at the same time, you've got to have enough pace to get some defensive stability.
Well, Spain on halfway, just help it down the line, but that may be the last play of the first half. In fact, it is. And what a performance in the second quarter by South Africa. They created opportunities. They haven't been able to peg back Spain at the moment, but it is a promising performance by them. The scoreline hasn't changed, and we're going into half-time, where it's Spain 2, South Africa 0. And we go pitch side now to Krista Cullen.
And I'm here with Bonastro, one of the scorers. You went 2-0 ahead in the first quarter, and then the South Africans have come back. Have you got the game to keep this going, keep the lead?
I think we are doing great things. We are playing well. We just last minute we went down a bit, but I think if we could doing with our tactics and just passing the ball, because we go faster than driving the ball. So I think if we keep doing that, we will do great.
And what are the conditions out there like? Is it hot?
Yeah, a bit, but we are used to that. We always train in that kind of weather, so we are used to it. So it's not a problem.
Best of luck for the second half.
Yeah, thank you.
She absolutely is. I'm here with Blanche, who unfortunately took a heavy blow in the first game. How are you feeling?
No, it's not nice to sit on the bench, but at the end there is a bigger picture here, and I still need to be here for the team.
Absolutely, and we all are looking forward to seeing you back out there. Now you found yourself 2-0 down in a must-win game for you. How is South Africa going to get themselves back into this?
Well, definitely it's tough, 2-0 down, but you know the 2-0 trap is real, so we are positive, and it's a lot of time that we can still get back into this game, so I think the team are ready.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Krista. Good to hear from Nicoline Blanche. She's able to smile, even though she has that concussion. Well, the flags are flying for Spain, although they're putting them away now. A little bit of modesty there in the crowd. South Africa need to get their flags waving. They need to hear their fans roaring them on. Can they come back in this match as we push back and get the second half underway? South Africa trailing by 2-0. We just heard the guys in the studio. They lose this game, their tournament is pretty much over. They just have their final game, which will be against Argentina, and that will be a very tough match. Argentina will be stung after their defeat against Germany, and will really want to show people that they are a force to be reckoned with. Well, Raven wins the free hit for South Africa. Simon, is it a case of South Africa just doing what they did in that second quarter, and they may well get back in this match, or are there any changes you would like to see as they come on the attack? But Nastra connects for Spain. Slides it across, deflected out of play. Mbande and the defender almost really making a mess of that one.
Well, down that side, the overhead was missed. It's a clever movement. Look at the body position to get the eyes up. Very nearly, however, a touch between Mbande's feet from the defender to put it in for what would have been essentially an own goal because the ball was across, but been touched in the circle, obviously, by South Africa, by Spain. So the answer to your question, actually, do they need to keep doing the same things? Yes, they do. And I'm going to credit to Blanche in that interview with Krista that she wasn't giving anything away. My fear, however, was that she just talked about remaining positive. There wasn't a real, even a comment about what they were actually going to try and do to get back into this game. And purely positivity isn't enough. They need a better structure. They need to move the ball really quickly and then keep that aggressive, higher pressure.
Well, we said Mbande, but they've actually switched their goalkeeper, South Africa. It's Marlies van Tonder who is under the bar for them in this second half. So I'm sure that that is just, I don't know, I would have thought it's just to give her a bit of game time as well, because Mbande, I don't think you could really blame her for the goals.
Well, not at all, and I actually find it a very, very odd decision. They started with Mbande, unless there's an overheat problem out there, and they feel that by changing the keeper, they're going to get better performance levels. I don't think you give opportunity in a game like this if you have an obvious number one and number two.
There he is, Leila Mbande. At the moment, Spain trying to just find a way to break through. They've gone around the back a couple of times, but the final pass letting them down. It's just given away. Hunter.
Actually, again, feedback. The goalkeepers were changed at the end of earlier on in the game. Obviously not at half-time, so you might have missed that at some stage. It just goes to show how much more pressure South Africa had, and therefore keepers weren't called into action so much.
Carried forward now by Lopez. Pass finds the run of Vinia. Check inside the circle. Free hit goes South Africa's way. Immediately the pressure being applied by Machaz. South Africa did well. That was a good pass off the sideline. Having to turn and battle hard is Peyton. Peyton doing well in the midfield. And plays the ball out onto the left-hand side. Sulet Damons with a little bit of space. Advances towards the D. Looking to feed Peyton again. Pass, though, gets inside the circle. Penalty corner one. Good work by Dirkie Chamberlain. First penalty corner of the match for South Africa.
Good movement, strong collection in the first instance, then rotating the body onto the back foot, touches it into the defender. Chamberlain knowing exactly the space she wanted to get to. Riera unable to get in the right place.
Well, South Africa's only goal against Germany came from a penalty corner. They've got 1 from 2, 50% conversion rate. Can they get one now?
Dietlefs who converted that with a really hard, powerful, direct slap.
And she is at the top of the circle at the moment. Just moves inside the D. It's played there, looking for the deflection, straight into the foot, but it's gone into the goal. Well, that is a goal for South Africa. Although Spain won a referral.
Back of stick.
I don't know
Time meeting.
what they're referring for. It hit a defender's foot.
Yeah, they are looking for back of stick.
Is it back
Yes,
stick? Yeah,
Thank
back
you.
stick question. Probably off the defender's foot, I would feel, but...
Michelle Meister from Germany is the video umpire.
So Dietlef's slap comes across. There's a touch there. Is the first touch something that rotates the stick, or is the stick rotated as it comes in? That was really hard. You can see the stick is rotated at that point. Botas gets the final touch into the goal. There's a foot there which wasn't given. That's a clean strike. It's just fractionally before. Is the blade open? There, then gets turned over by the ball. I think as that ball comes in, that hits the toe of the stick and then rotates the stick to me.
I agree.
So that turns the stick over. There is then no back stick touch because it hits the foot and then it's a clean flick into goal. My gut feel is this will be allowed as a goal.
I think this as well was it a video referral from Spain, or was it?
It was a Spanish video referral. So that hits toe of stick and turns the stick over. Does it then hit back stick anywhere? There's no contact. So the contact here, there, turns the stick over. There's no contact then I can see. I'm going to go with goal.
I think I'm erring that way as well. There we go. Oh, it's very hard to tell.
Well, I just think it's the contact point. That stick blade is open, then it touches and turns, and there's no further contact with the back of the stick. I can see why Spain have appealed it because of what it looks like. But
Hang
that
on, decision coming down,
There's
Simon.
no clear reason to change your decision, so the goal stands and Spain
Well, you are
lose their
absolutely
result.
correct.
Okay,
South
thank you.
Africa have pulled the goal back. Well done, Cara Lee Botes. And no wonder the Rainbow Nation supporters are happy. Here we see it again.
Again, it's the open-handed slap to create the deflecting angle. Relatively good defensive position, but hits the foot. The pace turns the stick, as our video umpire decided, and then second phase awareness from Botes. She knows the ball's free, turns, flicks, goal.
South Africa, buoyed by that, went straight on the attack, stole possession. And they're back in this match now. So if it finished in a draw, and they both lose their games against Argentina and Germany, it'll go down to goal difference from those games as to who gets into third spot on the ladder. It really has been a fascinating tournament. So many permutations in so many pools.
Well, one of the most brilliant things about it so far has been, as we just paused, Spain on attack yet again.
Good defence by South Africa, and in the end it was a good save from Fantonda.
That's a superb save from Fantonda. It's an extended left leg that gets the block and then a right-hand clearance. Does really well to create a long barrier.
You need to stop the
However,
ball,
what I was saying
okay?
actually was that teams haven't faded away really. Nobody been steamrolled particularly. There's been swings of momentum, and yes, the Spain game against Argentina, they started the scoring, but then they still finished it and they came back into it.
Certainly South Africa started this second half really well.
Good job, Cindy. Keep up the performing here. Thank you.
Just need to keep it going. Here's Fantonda, just the 16 caps coming into this tournament, 21 years of age. Played for the Pacific Tigers in the USA at the University of the Pacific. So obviously one of those benefiting from the university program in America's Pachame comes in, it's gone in the goal. Just as I was bigging up Fantonda, Pachame broke forward, Carlotta Pachame, and fires it past Fantonda to restore the two-goal cushion for Spain.
The turnover in midfield is what really undid South Africa. They didn't have the runners. Simone Gow's doing everything she can, but this time she can't get there. Does that take a touch in front of Fantonda from the defender? It does. That may well have been going, let's look at the angle. Is that going past? It is. That's going past the far post, and it's the running back of Botes that touches that into the goal past Fantonda. Disappointing for South Africa. They've done all the defensive running.
Doubly disappointing for Botes, who was the goal scorer for South Africa. So what a shame for Botes, what a shame for South Africa, but well done to Spain. Here comes South Africa again, though. Good tackling inside the circle, just taking the ball away from Peyton. The more South Africa push forward, though, the more they're likely to get caught at the back, the way we saw there. Spain just breaking very quickly, and the defenders having to rush to get back as it now comes wide to Julia Pons.
Well, the fear of South Africa has to be as they're forced to chase this game and play higher. To me, it looks and feels like the Spanish midfield have just a little degree more athleticism than South Africa do, some raw pace through those channels. So if South Africa do push up as they have to do and continue to play well at times coming forwards, they do open those spaces for Spain to run into.
Run forward again, but a really well-timed tackle. Sees possession back with South Africa.
So here we see that goal. There's nothing wrong with the shot. It's a good backstick shot, chopped across, but it's going wide, which is the issue. The chasing defender has touched that in. Nothing illegal about the actual process at all. It is a fantastic hit from Pachame. Just disappointing for South Africa to touch it into their own net.
And more disappointed that it came 1 minute 54 seconds after they reduced the deficit. So South Africa need to do it all again. The overhead pass, chasing to get on the end of that is Glasby. She keeps it in play, does incredibly well, and just loses out. And ricochets up off her stick and is deemed dangerous, so it will be Spain hit out. Zhao Ying has been kept busy in this match. Caught there well by Kraus. South Africa coming forward again. Just spinning away was Simone Kraus. Botes, short little pass, plays it forward to Jones. Jones spinning on the side, is hemmed in now by two Spanish players, draws the foul, looks to play on, breaks through the gap. And the pass is a good one to pick out Glasby. Glasby just needed to help that on into the path. She does now of Duplessis. Stolen away. Duplessis was just two players there and just ran away from it. Now it comes out to Gigi Olivia, and she frees up on the right-hand side. Lopez looking for a short pass. It ricocheted up, though, dangerously off the stick of Lucas. Pons now tries to get around the back. Good defending again by Botes. She's really stamping her mark on this game at both ends of the pitch.
Defended fabulously at times during this. That was a great reach tackle, using her height and her levers to get the extension and to get the touch. But that passage of play, South Africa had the ball up on the Spanish 23, and then when you lose it, you turn. You've got 6 players in front of the ball, and it's heartbreaking, literally, to turn and realise that the running you have to do back 60 yards in this heat at sprint pace to try and stop that Spanish run.
Spain in the box seat at the moment. Under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. South Africa started this so well and came back into the match with a goal in the 35th minute. And they conceded another one, so they have it all to do again. Still plenty of time because goals come thick and fast. And I'm sure Adrian Lott will be well aware of that, the coach of Spain, and will want his players to keep concentrating. Kept him well there and played down the line by Garcia. Perez decides to go herself, tries to get round the back, just gets bumped over the baseline, but earns a long corner.
And possession's been turned over, though, because she earned that long corner. I think the ball just came off the outside of her foot. Yes, South Africa get possession. It was the faintest of touches. Pace again from Spain down that right-hand side. Now the high press comes.
Well, that was a very risky pass back to Lisa Marie Dietlefs in front of the keeper. Stolen back again by Spain, and Julia Pons doing well once more. They're going to drive around the back, but thwarted superbly by Erin Hunter. It's all Spain at the moment. Comes out wide, played in, just the keeper to beat. And it's gone underneath, and that was brilliant composure from Carlota Pachame to get her second goal and Spain's fourth. Just so cool in front of Van Tonda. Pulled her one way, then the other, and then just tuck the ball underneath.
As the ball comes in, she got good space. That pick on the open allows her to go across. Van Tonder just opens herself up. That's not great mobility from South African keeper. She sets up there, but look at the channel she opens up. She's over-committed to her right-hand side, expecting Pachame to keep going. Opens up her left foot, and then it's almost impossible to dive your hand down to the turf to block that up. Unfortunately, she sold herself short.
Adrian Locke will be a happy man. It's been a really good response from his team. Yeah, they find themselves with a 3-goal cushion. And this result could very well assure them of a place to play off for a place in the quarterfinals. Just a reminder on the structure, so the top team in each pool goes directly into the quarterfinals. Second and third then play crossover games against the second and third teams in the other pools for the chance to go through to the quarterfinals. The team that comes fourth, I'm afraid, gets on the plane and goes home. Two and a half minutes left in the quarter, and South Africa, who started it so well, find themselves in a little bit of trouble now. Stolen, looking to get forward. That was brilliantly taken by Riera. Oliver plays it forward again into the circle. Lovely little check back. Good defence though. Recovery coming from Botez again. And she's been the star at the back for South Africa. There's no doubt about that. Could she be in the reckoning for your Vitality Player of the Night zone?
Certainly from a South African perspective, it's been one of the outstanding players so far, but there's a lot of time here with the players who've contributed, and Pachame on a potential hat-trick.
We haven't had a hat-trick in the tournament yet either. So a long corner to Spain. Spain switching it wide, and unfortunately just bobbled over the stick of Chantal Thinner. Now a little run again. She created the last goal. Perez trying to get around the back. On her knees now. And the free hit will go South Africa's way.
You can move it up. Yeah, that's good, thanks.
Clock continues to count down. Oh, it's just given straight back to Spain. How did that happen? Lovely turn now into the D, across the face of goal, and it's gone home. Well, I think that was Guinea who got the touch. Another touch at the back post, but to me, was it Salvatella?
Certainly Salvatella who's celebrating. It's the rotation in, the eyes are up, deciding not to swing. Really, really clever from Bonastra to keep her stick near the ball. If she'd swung, she'd have got tackled, and that is a brilliant finish. A lovely tap-in on the forehand from Salvatella. Static position off the goalkeeper's right shoulder. Great textbook right-hand side attack and sweep in.
It was indeed, well, from our angle, I could just see Guinea just coming in, but Salvatella just drifting in behind her, getting the touch. Salvatella with her second goal of the tournament. It's a goal a game at the moment for the number 8 for Spain.
Well, that one's slightly more conventional than the overhead smash she executed to get her first.
Gigi Silva, oh, that had to be made. And Marley now picks up for South Africa, comes infield. Spain, though, getting numbers behind the ball really quickly. Comes out wide to Duplessis. And the reverse just gets underneath it, though. And that may well be the last play of the third quarter. And what a third quarter it's been for Spain. There is indeed the hooter. So a really good third quarter for Spain. 3 goals from them has seen them stretch their lead after conceding an early goal at the start of the second half. And so they go into the final break. Spain 5, South Africa 1. no doubt Spain will be feeling pretty pleased with themselves at the moment. It was South Africa that got the first goal from a penalty corner. It went to referral, but in the end, Botez was credited with the goal. There was no back stick. It was the ball that spun her stick, and as the rebound fell loose, she just fired it home past Maria Ruiz. Yet 1 minute 54 seconds later, Spain stole possession. It was a lovely pass forward. Pachame just came into the deep and banged it home. Wonderful finish by her.
Now chopped the ball underneath, but as we said, probably going past the far post, and Botez got the last touch. But then Spain came in, a great bit of skill, taking the ball out, dummying the goalkeeper to the keeper's right, and then pulling it back underneath to expose the left foot area, then just rolling it into an empty net. And then a fantastic spin, textbook spin into the circle, cleverly keeping the ball on the end of her stick as she ran in. Bonastra to deliver for Salvatella to touch in with a more conventional finish for her second goal of the tournament.
One thing we're maybe overlooking as well, Simon, is the fact that it's Beatriz Perez who's had a part in setting up a couple of those goals. She's been really effective on the right-hand side for Spain. And the players make their way out for the final quarter. Are there more goals in this match? South Africa push back. Free hit goes South Africa's way. A little bit of hesitation. Spain wanting to play on with things quickly.
Thank you.
Botez wants to go backwards again. Hunter's pulled wide. The ball will come to her now.
Botez, when she got the ball in midfield, had no options except to go back, because Spain were quite happy to play slightly higher risk. The Spanish attack, sorry, the South African attack now has stepped slightly higher. Three players possibly looking to get more forward intent and opportunity. But it just means that the South African midfield can get swarmed.
Yeah.
Well, there's the fixtures coming up tomorrow. We've got China versus the Netherlands, and then Korea versus Italy rather. On Saturday, there are 4 games to enjoy. Spain v Germany, Argentina versus South Africa. Those are the final games for all the teams in Pool C. And then Japan v Belgium, New Zealand v Australia. Again, those are key games in their pool as well to decide who will go through to the quarterfinals and who will play off for a place in the quarterfinals. Oliva put under pressure, but she does brilliantly, gets the ball away to Pons. Diving, but not able to get it was Manuel. Pons helps it forward. Ball will come to Kano. Back to Pons. Manuel forcing her backwards. Lovely little dink inside to Oliva. Spain, you get the feeling they're just beginning to enjoy this. They're knocking the ball around very well as it's smashed in from the top of the deep.
17, we're out there.
So Manuel picking up a green card. As for a challenge on Pons out wide. Good advantage played by the umpires, not blowing when Spain had possession. In play. Spain in a penalty corner going to them.
If you want to refer it, no.
Well, the umpires signalled third player obstruction to create it. I'm not.
No.
Didn't see much in real time that suggested there was anything, but as that's coming out there, it's been given against Declefs as she stood potentially obscuring the Spanish right side attacker. Got to say that feels a little harsh.
10 seconds.
And Garcia has made her way down to the baseline. Lopez waits at the top of the D, so too Riera. They go to Riera, she sweeps it high, it's gone in again. Riera gets a double, Spain get a 6th, and It's hugs all around. This is a real fiesta for the Spanish team now.
It's a good hard injection to the top, gives time for the flick. Riera with that straight line drag. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still superb as she gets the speed. She opens that right wrist up. A diving, flailing Van Tonda in goal, can't get there because of the placement. The post person tries to get a blade across it and can't.
You're a hard man, not as good as the first one. It was still pretty good,
but not as good as the first one. First one went in off the crossbar.
I know, I think that's just because it hit the crossbar, but yeah, it was a little bit about a foot lower, but still good execution. So Riera with a double, Pachame with a double. And then other goals to Bonastra and Salvatella are the 6 for Spain. And goal difference could be a major player in this group, so Spain are going to put their foot down now. Especially with Argentina losing that game against Germany. And the next game for Spain is against Germany.
And with those two teams playing so well.
Stolen away into the goal, saved initially by Van Tonda. Empty corner has been given.
South Africa just turning the ball over there. Look, there's some tired-looking bodies out there. A rotation trying to go around past the front, a four-stick, difficult to do. Goalkeeper nearly getting done on the near post, and then stick obstruction being given for the tackle in front of Van Tonda.
Coming into this game, Spain had one penalty corner conversion from 3 attempts. They got 2 from 3 so far. Now they're trying again. 4th penalty corner of the match. Salvatella to inject this time. Riera again awaits at the first battery. It's a good stop again. Riera straight into the first runner, right into the ribs of Dirkie Chamberlain, and not surprisingly, she's in a bit of trouble.
Gutsy running though, Dirkie Chamberlain. You know what's going to happen in that situation. You've got a player on a hat-trick, she's flicked brilliantly, and as a runner, Chamberlain has come absolutely out the blocks to get on top of this. She's closed that line down. Look, South Africa are running a double block on that left-hand side, protecting their keeper. Brave.
Well, they make them tough at Pretoria Girls High. Dirkie Chamberlain having come through that famous school. Spain again on the attack. Comes out wide to Thinner. Bonastra. Just a slight deflection off the stick of Juanita Bobbs. Thinner, lovely pass down, manages to pick out Peyton.
Yes.
So the next match is India versus Ireland, and they're arriving at the stadium as we speak. And that promises to be a really big game as well. If Ireland win that game, they're pretty much assured of their place in the quarter-final. And who would have believed that USA and England were facing the possibility of not getting through to the quarterfinals?
Well, a couple of coaches who we've lucky enough to speak to have been talking about the performance gap has been closed between what you would perceive to be the leading nations and the rest, and all of a sudden some sides coming in with some confidence and some form, and it means there have been some unexpected results.
I think as well, Simon, as you know, some of these players, they've made huge sacrifices, like the Irish players, given up their work for 6 months to focus on this. And when you make those sacrifices, boy, do you work together as a team.
You do indeed, and it's a culture, it's a collective, and that's what we've seen from the sides that have turned over these unexpected results. It hasn't been about individual players, it's been about exceptional teamwork.
break forward again from Spain. Perez looking up. She was busy on the right-hand side. Now going through the heart of the midfield. Feeds it out to Garcia. South Africa getting numbers back behind the ball, though. Now to Thinia. Midfield just lost there by Guinea. Guinea wins it back. Now to Chame, moving away from goal. We're so used to her going towards goal. Vieira. And she completed a hat-trick with a field goal. It was a great ball in towards the penalty spot. A real desperation to get on the end of that coming from Thinia.
What a fabulous hit pass in. Delightful open wrists. Rotates her hips, but still has to open her hands up to execute that as a flat hit. Guinea trying to get that inside edge touch towards goal, but doesn't. Beautiful skill execution.
Spain again coming forward, stolen by South Africa. Good defensive work coming from Shelley Jones, who's been tireless for them. South Africa find another goal. Jones in the midfield, just under immense pressure from Pachame. Pachame came up with the ball as well. Played by her once more. She goes infield, then releases the pass. This is good by Spain. Covering defence though from Walraven.
Spain still with that high press that we've seen all the way through the game, meaning that South Africa have got no real outletting opportunity. They're having to throw the ball forwards, trying to force it down towards the Spanish goal.
South Africa with possession, again trying to find a way down the right-hand side. Shelley Jones probing away. Oh, and Riera having a little bit of fun with that. Oh, she's hit the turf. Given away in the end by Kano. Good defensive work being done by Charlotte Demons.
You have to say, though, for all of the South African application at times, they've been outplayed in a number of departments. The athleticism they've suffered against physically.
And the back, laid back as well, looking to give the return pass. Fantonda doing really well.
Thank you.
Umpires talking to each other as that come in down the baseline. Fantonda's come out and smothered it, but in doing so has lifted the ball across up into the Spanish attacker, number 10, Berta Bonastre. Takes a big hit there. It's a boot off the left kicker high into the forward in front of her.
Would have really hurt. Bonastre was stopped in her tracks immediately.
South Africa have got to hustle. They've only got 8 seconds left on this shot clock, and they've got a defender coming back.
5 seconds.
So Garcia down at the baseline. Riera again waits at the first battery. I'm sure they will go with her again, and they do indeed. Try a variation. Oh, brilliant! Absolutely superb.
Well, here we're going to have a question about, is this a hit or a deflection? They're going to go to a video umpire, I think an umpire referral. The rules are, if it's a hit at goal, and that has to be what's considered there. To me, that's a hit at goal.
Yeah, first shot on goal, potentially.
But it's above the backboard. It can only be a deflection across the goal line. If this is perceived to be a hit, then it'll be disallowed. To me, the hands are open, but there is a definite movement towards the ball there. That means it classifies as a hit, not a deflection, because there's forward movement of the stick. The stick has to be static. That, I think, is going to be overruled. It takes a second touch, but the ball is already high and above the backboard.
I think you may be right. This is the moment we've got to look at.
Alicia?
Is that a hit?
I think that's a hit.
You gave a goal, right?
I gave a goal, yes.
Yes. So there's no clear reason to change your decision. The
Okay.
goal stands. And
Thank you.
Well, no clear reason to change the decision.
They said that she
Well,
made
that'll be
some
one for us to discuss later.
We've just got to trust that her decision there,
You can see it again
I
there,
can't do that again.
and that will
We've
be
just gotta
something that's
trust-
talked
we've just
about
gotta
for a
trust that
while.
she's made the right
Now the question is, who got the final touch?
But it gets a final touch on the far post. Is it already over the line? I don't know. It's touched by a player. However, if it's not going in the goal, the ball's still, I think, crossed the goal line above backboard height anyway. It didn't go straight down, so complicated, but I don't really understand why that touch from the injector was not classified as a hit.
Garcia has been credited, but I think Bonastra got the final touch. But we'll get that all clarified after the game. Here's Bonastra's got a double as well. Damon's 7-1 now to Spain.
Ball control. I need you on the fence.
Well, this has been a score that's really blown out as South Africa come on the attack again.
Nothing.
Lifted high, but straight onto the stick. When you consider in 2002 they were in the same pool and Spain won 3-1 at the World Cup in Perth. 2010 it was South Africa that won 2-1 at the World Cup there, and they were in Pool B. It's the only, well, there's a few questions. Who got the goal, Garcia or Bonastra? And Simon Mason still shaking his head. He feels that it shouldn't have stood.
We'll leave that for discussion after the game. It's not like it's going to affect the actual outcome unless, as we've already talked about, there's some goal difference calculations and computations towards the end of this competition, but one of those moments that...
So matches won is the decision maker first, then goals for. And it could still come down to those goals for. South Africa bursting forward. Hose playing it, looking for Damons. Took a deflection.
Well, I was disappointed, but Damon's, I just think, run out of legs completely.
So we've just had confirmation that Berta Bonastra has been credited with that goal. So she now has a pair in the match. So Pachami has 2, Riera has 2, and Bonastra has 2.
Well, if that's Berta Bonastra on the far post...
Here's a chance for Manuel. She took a heavy touch, ball was slightly behind her. And Damon's running in as it was lifted.
Well, now to put a cat amongst pigeons, if that's Berta Bonastra credited with the goal, the ball across was above backboard height and her touch into the goal was above the backboard. So the first shot on goal is definitely above the backboard.
I have to say I agree with you. Initially, I was just excited by the movement for the goal.
Play. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure they'll have fun in the studio with that one.
Yeah. Here. Yeah. Inside.
Just under 3 minutes left. And we're going to have to get you to think about your Vitality player of the match, Simon. Spain have really put on a great display in this match.
They have indeed, and the player rotation means there's a number of people who've contributed in different lines. It's not just about the goal scorers yet. The skill execution from someone like a Riera has been fantastic on those penalty corners. Those 2 fantastic flicks high up to defensive right-hand side, unstoppable for the goalkeepers. I think it's going to come down to a player who's contributed through midfield. Actually, you've spoken about her contributing on both sides, left and right. Some good rotation through the midfield channels and then popping up with a brace of goals as well herself on counter-attack and on set-up play. So for me, the player of the match today is going to go to the Spanish number 7, Carlota Pachame, for her contribution through the midfield and forward lines.
And her goals probably turned the tide, getting the 3rd and 4th goal for Spain. The first goal of the match was the 50th of the tournament. They're now up to 57. I wouldn't have predicted that this morning. And this is just the 13th match of the tournament. But Spain have really shown that they are a force to be reckoned with. They really took it to Argentina and then were put on the back foot a little bit in that match, ending up losing 2-6. Well, that seems a little bit harsh. I'm not sure that that was dangerous.
It's not the danger, it's
you
the
can tell
deliberate race.
Manuel's shoulders just slumping.
Inside and stop.
Oh, lovely turn. Shot came in. Von Tonda with a sharp save to deny the initial shot taken by Jimenez. And a penalty corner comes the way again of Spain. And Marlies van Tonda knows she's going to have to be on her mettle again.
Well, in and on the backhand, the shot there, that's a good clearance, the right foot across the ball to get the ball going wide. Really strong right foot across the body, deflected away.
20.
So, sixth penalty corner about to be taken
10 seconds.
by Spain. And Riera and Lopez line up once more. Will they give Lopez a chance? Don't think so. They do. Hit low, and that's a good save from Von Tonda. And the crowd giving their applause.
That's a lovely stop and roll, really well executed, catching that ball and putting it into the circle, allowing the slap to become a shot. Van Tonda down to her right-hand side sharply.
Thanks, Cindy.
And this is the biggest win by Spain in a World Cup match. Their biggest before today was 4-1 against the USA back in 2002. So this is one for the history books when it comes to Spanish hockey. And no doubt they will celebrate, although very understated at the moment. Pachame getting pats on the back, but it was an all-round performance by Spain. They all contributed, and they all contributed on the score sheet as well, as ice back to the ball that was kicked into the shoulder. But a really polished performance from Spain. And not surprisingly, the flags are flying high, and so they should be. Spain 7, South Africa 1. Take a look now at the table in Pool C. Well, Spain have put themselves in the mix to go through to the quarterfinals. They're on 3 points. Their next game will be against Germany, who sit on top. South Africa, well, they face Argentina, and a real uphill battle to stay in this tournament. Still another game to come today, and that is India versus Ireland. That will be coming up very shortly in about half an hour's time.
So I'm going to speak to her first and then...
Well, we're going to go pitch side now to Chris Cullen.
Absolutely. Congratulations, girls. A brilliant performance to finish 7-1. At half-time, it was 2-1, and you managed to make it 7. Just talk us through some of your play.
I think it was a great team effort. We have been fighting till the end, and we can see it in the result. So we are so happy. It was a bit of pressure at the beginning, but I think we kept calm and just playing our game and being without pressure. So at the end, the result was great.
And Lola, 2 fantastic taken goals in your drag flicks, top right. Is that something you've been working on and something you're going to grow into with some of the harder games you've got coming up?
Yeah, I'm very happy with this match. I hope the next game we play like this.
And it looked pretty hot out there. Were you guys, it looked like hard work?
For us, it's not a problem. We are used to it. So we have been having help with the kine and with the medicine of our team. So it was fantastic.
Well, congratulations again. Great start, and best of luck for your next game.
Thank you.